Good morning. Today we shall start with a new chapter, is coplanar non-concurrent force system. So in the earlier classes we have discussed coplanar concurrent force system. So a coplanar concurrent force system is one wherein the system of forces acting in a same plane and they are concentrating at a single point. So here it is a coplanar non-concurrent force system. So the definition goes like this. Can you see the screen share? Screen share is visible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now today we shall discuss coplanar non-concurrent force system. How to determine the magnitude, direction, and position of a given coplanar non-concurrent force system. So the definition of coplanar non-concurrent force system is if two or more forces acting in a single plane, that is XY plane, but not passing through a single point, such a system of force is known as coplanar non-concurrent force system. So a concurrent force system is one wherein the system of forces are acting in a single plane, but they are passing through a single point. Whereas the case of non-concurrent force system, so the system of forces are acting in a single plane, but they are not passing through a single point. So such a system of forces is known as coplanar non-concurrent force system. So under coplanar non-concurrent force system, so we need to find the magnitude of the resultant, the direction of the resultant, and also the position of the resultant. So in the earlier case, in the coplanar concurrent force system, we need to find only the magnitude and direction of the resultant. So, but when you have a coplanar non-concurrent force system, we need to find the magnitude of the resultant and also the direction of the resultant. Along with that, we need to find the position of the resultant. So the position of the resultant means the calculation of the distance, the perpendicular distance of the resultant with respect to the origin of the coordinate axis. Or you may also find the x and y intercept of the resultant. So I will explain what are these x and y intercept of the resultant. Now we know how to calculate the magnitude of the resultant. That is, it is nothing but the sum of, that is, r is equal to sigma f of x square plus f of y square. So thereby you will get the magnitude of the resultant. And also direction of the resultant, we know the equation theta is equal to tan inverse sigma f of y by f of x. Thereby you will get the magnitude, direction of the resultant. Now along with this, we need to position of the resultant. So the position of the resultant means the calculation of the perpendicular distance of the resultant or the line of action of the resultant with respect to the origin of the coordinate axis, and also the horizontal distance of the resultant, that is x and y intercept. Now the position of the resultant can be found by using the concept of the principle of moments, that is Varignon's theorem. That means the moment of the resultant about any point will be equal to the algebraic sum of moments of the forces about that same point. So now by that we can find the algebraic sum of moments of all the forces with respect to certain point. So thereby we will get the value of d. So that is, d is nothing but the position of the resultant. So it is given by the equation sigma m divided by the resultant value. So resultant value will get by using this expression. So you can find sigma m. Sigma m is nothing but the algebraic sum of moment of the number of forces about that point. So that then you know r on the left hand side, you know the value of the resultant, and we need to find the position of the resultant, that is the distance. So on the right hand side, you know the sum of moments of all the forces with respect to any given point. So thereby you can find the unknown thing, that is d is equal to sigma m divided by r. And also you can find the x-intercept value and y-intercept value. So that is given by sigma m by sigma f of y. If you want to find the x-intercept value, it is nothing but the sum of moments divided by the sum of the vertical forces, sigma f of y. And similarly, if you want to find the y-intercept, it is sigma m by sigma f of x. That is the sum of the horizontal forces. So these are the equations by which you can find the magnitude of the resultant, the direction of the resultant, the position of the resultant, and along with that, you can find the x-intercept and y-intercept of the resultant. Now, so if you have been given with a coplanar non-concurrent force system, first we need to find the magnitude of the resultant, then the direction of the resultant, and also the position and also the x and y intercept of the resultant. Now you look at this figure. Now here, this is the resultant. Right? This is the resultant of the given non-concurrent force system. And these are the components of the resultant along horizontal and vertical direction. Now, the position of the resultant is nothing but the perpendicular distance from the origin of the coordinate axis to the line of action of the resultant. Now, this is the line of action of the resultant. We need to find the position of the resultant. That is nothing but moment is nothing but force into the perpendicular distance. So the line of action of the resultant is like this, and the perpendicular distance with respect to point O is nothing but the position of the resultant. So this is 90 degree because the moment is nothing but the definition of moment is nothing but the magnitude of the force into the perpendicular distance about which the moment is required. So now here we are considering the moment of the resultant with respect to O, hence this is the perpendicular distance, that is D. So which is nothing but the position of the resultant. So it is given by the equation sigma m divided by r. Now the x and y intercepts are nothing but the resultant. You can see the resultant is cutting x-axis at this point, right? And y-axis at this point. So the resultant is passing like this, and it is intersecting vertical axis at this point, and the horizontal axis is at this point. Now these are the horizontal distances of the resultant with respect to x and y axis. So these are called as the x-intercept of the resultant and y-intercept of the resultant. So the x-intercept of the resultant is nothing but sigma m by sigma f of y, and y-intercept of the resultant is nothing but sigma m divided by sigma f of x. So these are the steps you need to follow whenever you have a coplanar non-concurrent force system. The first and foremost thing is you have to select the reference axis x and y. So once you select the reference axis x and y, then you need to find the sum of horizontal components, that is sigma f of x. So then you need to find the sum of the vertical components, that is sigma f of y. So once you get sigma f of x and sigma f of y, then you can calculate the magnitude of the resultant by using this expression, r sigma f of x square plus sigma f of y square. So once you find the magnitude of the resultant, then you can find the direction of the resultant by using this expression. Theta is tan inverse sigma f of y by sigma f of x. Then you need to find the position of the resultant. That is, the moment of the resultant about any point will be equal to the algebraic sum of moment of the forces about that same point. So thereby we will get the position of the resultant, and along with that, you can also find the x-intercept and y-intercept values of the resultant. So this x-intercept and y-intercepts are nothing but the intersection of the resultant force with respect to x-axis and y-axis. So these are the points you can see here. This is the y-intercept and this is the x-intercept of the resultant. So now problems on coplanar non-concurrent force system. So the tips to solve the problems in a coplanar non-concurrent force system, the magnitude, direction, and position of the resultant can be determined. So first, select the reference axis, then calculate the algebraic sum of forces acting along the x direction and also along the y direction. They are nothing but sigma f of x and sigma f of y. So then you can find the magnitude of the resultant. Then you can find the direction of the resultant. Then you can find the position of the resultant and also the x and y intercept of the resultant. So along with the magnitude and direction, so in case of non-concurrent force system, you need to find the position of the resultant and also the x and y intercept of the resultant. Now let us discuss some numerical problems. Here you have a figure, correct? You have a figure. So this is point A, you can call this point as B, and you can call this point as C. Now you have a force. You have a force of magnitude 600 Newton, and it is making an angle 30 degree with respect to the horizontal axis. And the distance from this point to this point, it is 0.2 meters. And from this point to this point, it is 0.3 meters. Now, this is a case of a simple force wherein you need to find the moment. Here only one force is acting at this point. So first let us understand how to consider the moment. So find the moment of the force 600 Newton about A as shown in figure. Because we need to understand this concept. Because when you have number of forces acting in a plane, then we need to find the moment of each forces with respect to any given point. So this is a very simple figure. So now here you have a force 600 Newton, which makes an angle 30 degree with respect to the horizontal axis. Now we need to find the moment. Find the moment of the force F 600 Newton about A as shown. So here the moment is required at this point. So moment is nothing but it's a product of the magnitude of force and the perpendicular direction. So we have already discussed the concept of moment in the earlier class. So moment is a product of the magnitude of the force and the perpendicular distance about the point which you require the moment. So in this case, you require the moment of the given force with respect to point A. So now, so let us select the reference axis right at this point where the force is acting. So this is my x-axis and this is y-axis. Now the force is acting in this direction. So if I resolve this force, so here we will be using the resolution concept. So if you resolve this force, its x component is, that is 600 cos 30. It is acting in this direction. It is acting in this direction. And its y component is 600 sin 30. It is also acting in the downward direction, because when you extend the line of action of this force is acting in the third quadrant, where f of x is negative and f of y is also negative. So if I resolve this force, its x component is f cos 30 and its y component is f sin 30. Now you can see here the y component is acting right over this point. Okay? Hence the perpendicular distance becomes 0. The perpendicular distance is 0. So in order to find the moment, you need a perpendicular distance about the point which you require the moment from the line of action of the force. Since the vertical component of this force is acting along y-axis in the downward direction and it is coinciding with this point. So hence the vertical component of this force has no moment. Now the horizontal component is acting like this. And if you want to calculate the moment of this horizontal component, the perpendicular distance with respect to point A is 0.2 meters. And if you consider the moment, it is creating an anti-clockwise moment because the direction of this component is towards the negative direction. And if you take the moment, it creates an anti-clockwise moment about this point. That is, the moment of this force 600 Newton about this point is 600 cos 30 minus 600 cos 30 into the perpendicular distance is 0.2 meters. So is it okay? Now you can see F is equal to 600 Newton about A and moment of this force, and I think here it is here there is some mistake. You can see the printing mistake. So in the given problem, find the moment of the force of F 600 Newton about A only. Correct? A only, you are required to find the moment about A. So, but here there is a printing mistake. MA is equal to minus 600 cos 30 into 0.2 only. But here there is a printing mistake. It is not because only you have to consider the horizontal component which creates the moment. Since the vertical component is acting directly over this point A. Suppose it would have been here, then the vertical component will have force into the perpendicular distance is 0.3. So here there is a printing mistake. Only this we have to consider. So finally it creates a negative moment, that is 600 cos 30 into 0.2. So this there will be some printing mistake in the textbook. So you have to go with the concept only. So here there is a mistake. Now let us discuss this problem. So a rigid plate ABCD, this is point A, this is point C, this is point C, and this is point D. A rigid plate ABCD is subjected to the forces as shown in figure. Compute the magnitude, the direction, and the line of action of the resultant of the system with reference to point A. So here we need to find the magnitude of the resultant, the position of the resultant, and the direction of the resultant with respect to this point. Now, first what you have to do is, first you select the reference axis about this point, X and Y. So I will select the reference axis with respect. So this point A becomes the origin of the reference axis, and this is my X axis. This is my X axis, and I have considered the Y axis like this. Now here you have how many forces? You have one force, so 200 kilonewton, so which makes an angle 45 degree with respect to horizontal axis. And here at point C you have a horizontal force, the magnitude of which is 100 kilonewton, and at point D you have a force of 200 newton, which makes an angle 30 degree with respect to x-axis. Now let us find the sum of the horizontal components, that is sigma f of x. Now I have selected the reference axis like this, x and y. Now if I resolve this, we will start the resolution of this force. First one, 200 kilonewton, so which makes an angle 45 degree with respect to the horizontal axis. So its x component will be 200 cos 45 acting in this direction, 200 cos 45, and its y component is 200 sin 45 acting vertically downwards. You can see here, this is the vertical component acting vertically downwards, and its horizontal component is 200 cos 45. Now here, since it is acting parallel to x-axis, no need to resolve because it is acting along the x-axis. Now you resolve this one, 200 force, which makes angle 30 degree with respect to horizontal axis. If I resolve this force, its x component is 200 cos 30 acting along line AD, correct? It is in line AD, 200 cos 30, and its vertical component is 200 sin 30. 200 sin 30, it is acting in the upward direction. Now let us find sigma f of x. Sigma f of x. That means the components which are parallel to x-axis. Now sigma f of x will start from this point. That is minus 200 cos 45, because it is acting towards negative direction. Minus 200 cos 45 plus 100 plus 100. It is acting along the positive direction along x-axis. So minus 200 cos 45 plus 100 plus 200 cos 30 plus 200 cos 30. It is also acting along the positive direction. So sigma f of x will be minus 200 cos 45 plus 100 plus 200 cos 30. So similarly, sigma f of y. Sigma f of y is the sum of the vertical components. So here, so this vertical component is acting in the downward direction, that is minus 200 sin 45, minus 200 sin 45 plus, so this is acting upwards, correct? 200 sin 30. So minus 200 sin 45 plus 200 sin 30. So let us check whether the answers are correct. Now you can see here, sigma f of x 100 plus 200 cos 30 minus 200 cos 45. So on simplification, we will get it as 131.78 kilonewton. Now sigma f of y, that is, so again he has done a mistake here. See, okay. So again here you have a force. So sorry, at point A there is a force acting in the downward direction. So it is acting in the downward direction. So minus 100 minus 200 sin 45 acting in the downward direction, and again there is a mistake. You can see here, instead of plus it has been taken as minus 200 sin 30. So here, since the force is in the first quadrant, its y component is plus 200 sin 30. So there is a printing mistake here again. So this is okay, minus 100 minus 200 sin 45, it is also acting in the downward direction, plus 200 sin 30. So instead of minus, it should have been plus 200 sin 30. So these are some of the mistakes in most of the textbooks because of the printing mistake. So here it should have been plus, instead of that they have taken it as minus. It's wrong. If the force would have been in the other direction, then the vertical component should have been negative. So here it is in the first quadrant, both are positive, f of x and f of y is positive. So anyway, but don't forget about, worry about this. You always go with the basics. So sigma f of x is correct here. 100 plus 200 cos 30 minus 200 cos 45, and sigma f of y minus 100 minus 200 sin 45. This should have been plus 200 sin 30. So anyway, whatever the answer you get, you can correct it. Then finally, you will get the value of the resultant. R is equal to square root of sigma f of x square plus f of y square. So thereby you will get the magnitude of the resultant as 193.30 kilonewton. And also you can find the direction of the resultant, and it works out to be about 42.02 degrees. So here no need to take the minus. Directly you can put the value of the resultant. So because you can find whether the resultant is acting in which quadrant. So according to this answers, sigma f of x is positive and sigma f of y is negative. So hence the resultant lies in the fourth quadrant, and which makes an angle 42.02 degree with the first quadrant. Now you can see here the resultant is acting in the fourth quadrant. Now anyway, now we have found the magnitude of the resultant and also the direction of the resultant. Now we need to find the position of the resultant. So the position of the resultant is nothing but this perpendicular distance we need to find. That is the perpendicular distance from the line of action of the resultant with respect to this point. Now we know that the basic equation, that is R into D, the moment of the resultant about this point will be equal to the algebraic sum of moment of all these forces with respect to same point. Now we shall consider the moment of these forces with respect to this point. So one by one we shall consider. Now here its x component is in this direction. It is 200 cos 45, and its y component is acting like this. So it is coinciding with this point. So for the vertical component of this force, the moment is 0 because it is in line with AB. It is in line with AB, and hence it becomes 0. So only for the horizontal component, it is 200 cos 45. The perpendicular distance is this one, 1 meter from this point to this point. So from B to A, it is 1 meter, and since it is acting in this direction, it creates an anti-clockwise movement with respect to this point. So hence minus 200 cos 45 into 1, minus 200 cos 45 into 1. Now next we shall consider this force. Now if you project it back, this force is acting like this, correct? The line of action of the force is acting like this. That means the force is acting at this point, the magnitude is 100, and the perpendicular distance from the line of action of this force with respect to this point, it is also 1 meter. And it creates a clockwise movement because the direction of the force is like this. And if you take the moment, it creates a clockwise movement. So sigma MA, let us call it as, we are considering the moment of all the forces with respect to point A. So sigma MA is equal to minus 200 cos 45 into 1. And if you consider this force, it is acting right over here. It is plus 100 into 1, plus 100 into 1. And next, here, if you resolve this force, its x component is in line with AD. It is like this. And the perpendicular distance is 0. Correct? It is acting in this direction. So hence the perpendicular distance of this line of action of this force with respect to point A is 0. But the vertical component of this 200 sine 30, so it is acting in the upward direction. And the perpendicular distance for this vertical component, that is 200 sine 30. So this is the perpendicular distance. It is 1 meter. Again, it is 1 meter. So 200 sine 30 is acting like this. And if you consider the moment about this point, it creates an anti-clockwise movement. It creates an anti-clockwise movement. And again, you have one more force, 100 Newton acting at point A. It is in line with point A. It is coinciding with point A, and hence it creates 0 moment. So finally, sigma MA is equal to R into D. That is the moment of the resultant with respect to this point. That is R into D. You can see here. That is the equation, basic equation. The moment of the resultant is R into D. Here we have seen R into D is equal to algebraic sum of moment of the number of forces about the same point. That is nothing but R into D is equal to sigma MA. Here we are considering the moment of all the forces with respect to point A. Hence R into D is equal to sigma MA. Sigma MA is nothing but minus 200 cos 45 into 1, 100 into 1, and 200 sine 30 minus 200 sine 30 into 1. So thereby you'll get the sum of the moments. Now let us check whether he has considered the moments correctly. Now sigma MA. So again 100 into 0 because this is in line with point A. So hence it is 100 into 0. And here 200 sine 45, that is the vertical component of this force, 200 sine 45, it is also acting along line AB, hence it is also 0. 200 sine 45 into 0 minus, you can see here, 200 cos 45 into 1, minus 200 cos 45 into 1. Next 100, here this is 100 into 1, you can see, plus 100 into 1. Again, you have this minus 200 sine 30, minus 200 sine 30 acting in the upward direction, and the perpendicular distance is 1 meter, and it is creating an anti-clockwise movement. It is minus 200 sine 30 into 1, and this component, the horizontal component, is along with line AD, hence it is plus 200 cos 30 into perpendicular distance is 0. So thereby you will get the sum of moments of all the forces, that is about 141.42 kilonewton. The sum is negative. So now you want the position of the resultant. D is equal to sigma MA divided by the value of the resultant. Here you got the value of the resultant, that is 193 point something. So thereby you get the position of the resultant as 0.732 meters. Then finally you can find the x-intercept value, that is sigma MA divided by sigma f of y, and also you can find the y-intercept value, sigma MA divided by sigma f of x. So this is the procedure to find the magnitude, direction, and position of the resultant of a given non-concurrent force system. So first, always start with the selection of the reference axis about which you require the moment. In this problem, you are required to find the moment of all the forces with respect to point A. Hence, the point A becomes the origin of the coordinate axis. Select x and y. Then you find the sum of the horizontal components, sigma f of x and sigma f of y. Then you can find the magnitude of the resultant by using this expression. So once you find the magnitude of the resultant, then you can find the direction of the resultant. So once you find magnitude and direction, we need to find the position of the resultant, which is nothing but the moment of the resultant about any point will be equal to the algebraic sum of moment of all the forces with respect to same point. So once you get the moment algebraic sum of moments, then you can find the position of the resultant, that is R into D is equal to sigma MA. So you know the magnitude of the resultant, thereby you get the position of the resultant. So once you get the position of the resultant, you can find the values of x-intercept and y-intercept. So these x-intercept and y-intercepts are nothing but the intersection of the resultant, line of action of the resultant with respect to y-axis and x-axis, that is the horizontal distance. So this is x-intercept of the resultant, and this is y-intercept of the resultant, and this is the position of the resultant, that is D. So this is the method to find the magnitude, direction, and position of a given coplanar non-concurrent force system. So in the next class, again, we shall solve some more problems. Now you can see here. Here it has been shown correctly. You can see here. Here he has resolved this force. That is, his x component is 200 cos 45, and here the y component is acting in the vertical direction, and this is the 100 Newton force, and here this is 100. And here you can see here, this is the 200 Newton force. Its x component is 200 cos 30, and its y component is 200 sin 30. But here he has done a mistake while calculating the sum of the vertical component. So this is minus 100, minus 200 sin 45 is also acting in the vertical direction. You can see here, minus 100. Minus 200 sin 45, it should have been plus 200 sin 30, plus 200 sin 30. So here he has taken it as minus 200 sin 30. Anyway, this value will change. If this value change, also the value of the resultant also changes. So here sigma f of x is positive, and according to this, it is negative. So hence the resultant lies in the fourth quadrant. You can see the resultant lies in the fourth quadrant, and this is the angle of direction of the resultant with respect to x-axis, that is theta, and this is the perpendicular distance, that is this is the perpendicular distance d, and this is the x-intercept of the resultant, and this is the y-intercept of the resultant. So anyway, next class we shall solve some more problems on coplanar non-concurrent force system, how to take the moments with respect to any given point. So any doubts? Any doubts, anybody? Yesterday somebody sent me a message that Udit MD, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So yesterday you sent me a message that you got absent.
Yes, sir. It was marked absent for me.
No, see, whatever they here, if you have done any mistake in entering your SN number, maybe that might be the problem. Anyway, don't worry about the attendance because in the chat box your name will be there. Okay, nothing to worry because some mistake in the jam software, maybe you might have got it as absent. You will have the backup. So hopefully the offline classes will start early. So we shall. Okay, nothing to worry about the attendance, Mr. Udit. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All the classes. Okay, fine. So I'll be ending the class today. So please, I request all of you to mark only once the attendance because some students are marking twice or thrice. It becomes very problem for me to take the count. Okay, so it's my request for all of you not to mark twice or thrice. Only once you need to mark it. Okay, in the chat box. Anyway, thank you for attending the class. I'll be ending the class. So have a nice day. Stay safe. So we shall again meet on Saturday morning at 10:45. We shall discuss some more problems on coplanar non-concurrent force systems. So till then, have a nice day. Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.